Nicaea was a significant city for the Byzantine Empire, both in terms of its military might and its deep spiritual legacy. Its story is woven into the very fabric of Byzantine history. Situated in the northwestern part of what is now modern-day Turkey, Nicaea occupied a prime location that made it a crossroads of cultures and armies for centuries. This city held immense strategic importance, with its formidable walls and strong defenses guarding vital routes into the heart of the empire. Its close proximity to Constantinople, the imperial capital, made Nicaea a crucial defensive outpost, often serving as the first line of protection against invading forces. Beyond its military role, Nicaea was a city steeped in history, with ruins and landmarks that tell stories of empires and faith. It gained worldwide fame as the site of the First Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, a gathering that would shape the future of Christianity. This council brought together bishops and theologians from across the Christian world, debating and defining the core beliefs of the faith. The decisions made here helped to solidify key doctrines and practices, leaving a lasting mark on Christian history and tradition. Because of this, Nicaea was not only a military stronghold, but also a spiritual center, revered by generations for its role in shaping religious thought. By the early 14th century, however, Nicaea faced new dangers as the stability of the Byzantine Empire began to crumble. The empire was weakening, its once mighty fortresses now vulnerable and its influence fading across the region. New powers were rising, eager to claim the lands and legacy of Byzantium for themselves. Among these ambitious forces were the Ottomans, a dynamic and rapidly expanding power with their sights set on conquest. They recognized Nicaea as a valuable target, both for its strategic location and its symbolic significance. The capture of Nicaea would not only open doors for further expansion, but also send a powerful message to their rivals. For the Ottomans, taking Nicaea was a key step in their quest to dominate the region and challenge Byzantine supremacy. Its fall would help them gain more control, allowing their influence to spread across Anatolia and beyond. At the same time, the loss of Nicaea would further weaken the Byzantine hold on their remaining territories, marking a turning point in the struggle for power in the region. Orhan was the leader of the Ottomans at this time, guiding his people through a period of great change and opportunity. His leadership marked a turning point for the small but ambitious Ottoman state. He was the son of Osman I, the founder of the Ottoman dynasty, and inherited not only his father's throne, but also his vision for a powerful empire. Orhan was known for his military skills, which set him apart from many of his contemporaries. He was both a strategist and a warrior, respected by his followers and feared by his enemies. He was determined to expand the Ottoman territories, pushing the borders further into lands that had long been held by rival powers. The Ottomans were gaining power quickly, transforming from a small principality into a formidable force in the region. They were a small but effective force, relying on discipline, unity, and innovative tactics to overcome larger and better equipped enemies. Their strength lay in their military tactics, which allowed them to outmaneuver and surprise their opponents on the battlefield. Orhan wanted to extend the empire's reach, dreaming of a future where the Ottomans would be recognized as a dominant power. Nicaea seemed like the perfect target for expansion, a city rich in history and strategically located near the heart of Byzantine territory. Orhan understood the significance of Nicaea, knowing that its capture would send a powerful message to both allies and rivals. He knew capturing it would be a major victory, one that would change the course of Ottoman history and inspire his people. It would be a symbol of the Ottoman rise to power, marking their emergence as a new force in the region. This goal was important for Orhan's legacy as a leader, shaping how future generations would remember him. The capture of Nicaea was not just about territory, it was about proving the Ottomans' ability to challenge established powers and claim their place in history. It was also about prestige, honor, and the promise of a new era for the Ottoman people. It would show the world the strength of the Ottomans and demonstrate that their ambitions were matched by their achievements. Orhan was determined to make this happen, driven by a vision that would shape the destiny of his people for generations to come. In 1328, the siege of Nicaea began. Orhan led the Ottoman forces. The Byzantines, although weakened, were determined to defend the city. Both sides used various strategies to gain an advantage. The Ottomans surrounded Nicaea. They aimed to cut off supplies to the city. This was a common tactic in sieges. The hope was to weaken the defenders through starvation and lack of resources. Meanwhile, the Ottoman forces built siege equipment. The Byzantines tried to hold out. They relied on the city's strong walls. The defenders used their knowledge of the city to their advantage. They also attempted to break the siege with surprise attacks on the Ottoman camp. Throughout the siege, small skirmishes occurred. Both sides suffered losses. The siege continued for several years. It was a test of endurance and strategy for both the Ottomans and Byzantines. Life during the siege was difficult for everyone. Inside Nicaea, people faced shortages of food and supplies. The longer the siege lasted, the harder life became for the residents. Fear and uncertainty were constant companions. The city's defenders were on high alert. They worked tirelessly to repair any damage to the walls. Morale was a concern. Leaders needed to keep the spirits of both soldiers and civilians high. Religious services were held to maintain hope. Outside the walls, the Ottomans had their own challenges. Maintaining a siege required resources. The Ottoman soldiers needed to stay healthy and motivated. They relied on a steady supply of food and weaponry. Communication was key. The Ottomans needed to stay in contact with their allies. They also needed to manage their forces effectively. Both sides were engaged in a waiting game, testing their limits. Finally, in 1331, Nicaea fell to the Ottomans. The siege had lasted about 3 years. The city, exhausted and out of resources, could no longer hold out. The Byzantines were forced to surrender. The fall of Nicaea was a significant victory for Orhan. It marked a turning point in the region. The Ottomans had proven they could challenge the Byzantines. This victory, really boosted their confidence and reputation. The Ottomans entered the city and took control of Nicaea and its resources. The city became part of the growing Ottoman Empire, and this change marked the end of Byzantine control in the area. The fall of Nicaea signaled a shift in power. It showed the decline of the Byzantine Empire, and honestly, it also highlighted the rise of the Ottomans as a major force in the region. After the conquest, life in Nicaea began to change. The Ottomans started to integrate the city into their empire. They respected the local population and worked to restore stability. This approach, honestly, helped to maintain order. The Ottomans repaired and fortified Nicaea, understanding the city's strategic importance. It became a key base for further military campaigns. The city's economy also began to recover under Ottoman rule. Culturally, Nicaea became a blend of Byzantine and Ottoman influences. The Ottomans respected the city's history, allowing churches to remain open. This tolerance, helped to ease the transition for the local population. The capture of Nicaea was seen as a great success for Orhan. It showcased his leadership and vision, and this victory paved the way for future conquests and expansion. The fall of Nicaea had a ripple effect. It changed the balance of power in the region. The Byzantines were losing ground, while the Ottomans were gaining more territory and influence. The capture of Nicaea was a stepping stone, enabling the Ottomans to launch further campaigns. Other nearby cities soon faced the threat of Ottoman expansion. This period really marked the beginning of a new era. Trade routes shifted as well, and the Ottomans controlled more land, which opened new opportunities. Nicaea's location was ideal for trade and military operations, so it became a crucial part of the Ottoman strategy. The siege of Nicaea was not just a military victory, it was a catalyst for change. It set the stage for the Ottomans' future as a dominant power. The siege of Nicaea was more than a battle. It was a defining moment in Ottoman history. It showcased the military prowess of the Ottomans and also demonstrated their strategic vision for expansion. This victory had long-term effects, establishing the Ottomans as a formidable power. It also weakened the Byzantine Empire considerably, shifting the balance of power in the region permanently. For Orhan, the capture of Nicaea was a personal triumph. It solidified his reputation as a great leader and, honestly, fulfilled his father's vision of a growing Ottoman Empire. This success laid the groundwork for future conquests. The siege was a critical step in the rise of the Ottomans, highlighting their ability to challenge established powers. This victory was a key chapter in their journey towards empire. The Siege of Nicaea was a crucial event in history, a turning point that would shape the destiny of empires. This dramatic confrontation between the Ottomans and the Byzantines was more than just a military campaign. It was a clash of ambitions, cultures, and visions for the future. It marked the rise of the Ottomans as a significant force and, well, this event changed the course of the region's history forever. The determination and discipline of the Ottoman troops set them apart, signaling to neighboring powers that a new contender had arrived on the scene. At the same time, it highlighted the decline of the Byzantine Empire, whose once mighty walls could no longer withstand the relentless pressure of their adversaries. The fall of Nicaea was a symbol of shifting power in Anatolia. Orhan's leadership was instrumental. His strategies and vision led to success. He inspired loyalty among his followers and adapted to the challenges of siege warfare, demonstrating both tactical brilliance and a deep understanding of his enemy. The capture of Nicaea was a testament to Ottoman strength, showing the world what the Ottomans were capable of achieving. It was a bold statement that the Ottomans were here to stay, and their ambitions stretched far beyond a single city. The impact of the siege was felt for years to come, paving the way for further Ottoman expansion. With Nicaea as a foothold, the Ottomans could project their power deeper into Byzantine territory and beyond. The region underwent significant changes as a result, and the capture of Nicaea was a key milestone in this transformation. Towns and cities across Anatolia began to adapt to new rulers, new laws, and a new era of governance. In reflecting on Orhan's triumph, we see the beginning of a new era, one marked by ambition, innovation, and the forging of an empire that would leave a lasting legacy. The Siege of Nicaea was not just a victory, it was the dawn of the Ottoman Empire's rise to greatness, setting the stage for centuries of influence and transformation across the region.